Thanks for checking out the Future Fox podcast. Today's guest is Cameron Saheb. He's the CEO of Advanced Industries. They do all the cool stuff for all the cool cars. They do window tint, they do auto glass, they do wraps, they do paint protection wraps, all this really cool stuff that he talked about and how they've evolved their business over the last several years. He talks about his struggles in the first few years of his business and how he grew his business to doing over $5 million in revenue this past year. They've worked with celebrities and professional athletes and done tons of exotic cars. Really great stories, really great insights from his business and how he's been able to grow his business here in the Denver metro area. So make sure you're subscribed to the podcast wherever you get those podcasts and enjoy the episode.
Advanced Industries is just what you call it now, right?
Yeah, Advanced Industries. It's changed.
Yes.
Now.
So, yeah. All right, we got Cam Saheb here. Saheb, that is like a Arabic last name?
My dad's Persian.
Persian, sweet. Okay. Yeah, you don't look super Persian, but
Yeah.
wow.
My mom's side's like Norwegian.
Okay. You got that's a good play.
Yeah.
They make good babies.
Do you have an accent?
No. Colorado accent, I guess.
Yeah.
So, well, cool, man. Well, why don't you, Cam Saheb is the owner of Advanced Industries. Why don't you tell us what you guys do? Give us your 60-second elevator pitch because you guys got a lot going on.
Yeah, we started as an auto glass company. That's what I first did. And then shortly after, a few months later, window tinting, and then Burrow paint protection.
Yeah.
As we did that, the company started evolving. The auto glass tint clear was our foundation. That's why we were Advanced Auto Glass Tint and Burrow.
Yeah.
And then
At some point, every service you add a new service, you can't just keep changing the name, right? It's
Yep. And then that's the thing is a lot of people would either know us for the paint protection or the tinting, but not the glass, or they knew us for the glass and not the rest.
Yeah.
And then just as like a whole for the company, wanted to create, like an umbrella. So Advanced Industries is our platform.
Yeah.
And then you have the auto glass division, the window tint, not just for automotive, but commercial and residential.
Okay.
And then obviously paint protections just for cars. And then we got into the vinyl wraps, whether it's you want to change the color, whether you wanted to do a fleet branding.
Yeah.
So then it went to that.
How big can you make those?
The wraps?
Yeah.
Well, on the cars, all it is panels, right? So our printer prints up to 54 inches. It's a 60-inch printer, but you got the bleed, obviously.
Yeah.
But then once we were doing car wraps, I was like, guys, we're spending a week on wrapping a car.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Why can't we wrap a wall?
Yeah.
Or a floor?
Something easier.
So then we started getting into this, and a lot of people are like, hey, you guys have these massive printers. Can you guys do us a big wall graphic?
Yeah.
And then our designers, we started tapping into all these different things. And next, now our commercial line launched, 3 years ago.
Okay.
So that's, pole vaulted us quite a bit, done some crazy projects the last few months.
Yeah. I want to talk about that.
But yeah, then we got into the commercial side of wrapping, and, we're wrapping, these robots now for Disney. They're sending us stuff and we're wrapping these little robots, we're wrapping these guys that can carry food trays to people and pick up their drinks.
You didn't have to sign an NDA for that? You can talk about that?
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
Then, the big wall wraps. And then, my brother is like you. He was in the wedding industry.
Yeah.
So people were like, we just wish we had an option to make the dance floors look cooler.
Yeah.
We wrap those.
Oh, wow. Dang. Okay.
So, we done partnerships with Brown Palace, Four Seasons, the Height.
So is it a permanent floor that they can use over and over again? Or is it a one-time use?
It's like if you were filming a wedding for someone, you ask your bride, what do you want? Yeah. We custom design it. We put it on, they pull it off the next day.
Nice.
So we have a strike team if it's in Vail or whatnot.
Okay.
And then even if it's an out-of-state wedding, we can ship it and they can find a local vendor.
Okay.
So there's ways around it.
You guys have really expanded.
Yeah, so that's just our platform, it's the autoglass, tint, clear bra, and wraps. It's those 4.
Yeah.
But obviously in the tint, you have those,
Yeah.
pillars to it. And then for the wraps, you have the pillars to it. But autoglass and paint protection is kind of just.
And how long have you been in your space now?
In our current location, 5 going on 6 years. And then we've been in business 9.5.
Okay. All right. Let's back all the way up.
So.
All right. So for those that don't know, I shot Cam's wedding, and that's kind of how we met.
Great video.
And thanks, man. It's still one of my favorites.
Yeah, people always compliment it.
Oh, cool. That's great. Well, and then also I was shooting a commercial, or I was working doing some video work for this company called Vortic Watches. Shout out Vortic Watches. They were cool. What is that guy's name that owns it? I forgot his name. Nice guy. Anyways,
Honestly, I get tons of compliments.
do you still wear the watch?
Oh, dude, all the time.
It's sick, right?
All the time.
Those Vortic watches are dope. They're just so unique. There's nothing else like it.
And my grandpa always gave me his old pocket watches.
Uh-huh.
So then when you presented that
Yeah.
to Caroline, she's like, you can pick any watch you want.
Yeah, that's
I was
pretty
like, you're
cool.
lying.
Yeah. I think
And then
they
next
send-
thing you know, they showed up and
Yeah.
they had that watch. And he's like, all right, it's go time.
That's sweet, man. Yeah. Anyways, I had pitched him on this idea. I'm just a creative ideas guy. And so I was like, you should market these to brides who are buying, groom's gifts, right? And because they always buy watches, and maybe not everyone can afford a Rolex, which, 5 to 10, 20 grand. But this is like a really cool watch. It's unique. No one else has it. I think they're under $2,000. And so, I was like, you should do it. He's like, that's a great idea. Let's do it. I don't think they've really done that much since then, but he was like, I'll give you a watch. You can give it to one of your bride and grooms and, shoot it. And then we'll make like a promo video of it. Yeah. And so I kind of double dipped at your wedding. I was shooting a commercial for a brand and also shooting your wedding video. But it turned out awesome. So
Yeah, I wear that watch.
yeah. And then we bump into each other every now and then at the gym and kept up with each other online. So, I wanted you to have you on the podcast for a while. I think I just wanted to get this nailed down first before I invited such an important person onto onto the pod. So thanks for being here. But so you grew up in Colorado, right? Native? Where'd you grow up?
Highlands
Ranch.
Yeah.
Yeah. HR. Shout out. And then so you and Caroline met in school. High school sweethearts?
Yep. She went to Thunder Ridge. I went to Ranch.
Oh, so how'd y'all meet then?
She was a Palms girl. I played basketball.
Okay.
Just through mutual friends. I actually dated her like next door neighbor when we were like freshmen.
Gotcha.
And she was dating an older guy, and then
Of course.
yeah, and then we just like ran
Connected,
into each other at a party and hit it off, and then pretty much dated all senior year.
Okay.
Broke up
Oh,
because we were both going to go to CSU.
okay.
She got a full ride to Tech to dance.
Oh, yeah, that's
And
right.
then last minute, I was like, you know what? Half my high school is going to CU, half my high school is going to CSU. UNC was just like such a last minute thing for me. And I'm just like a spontaneous person. I just go with the flow.
You changed the school last minute?
Dude, I didn't even never been to Greeley in my life. I'd never seen
You might
UNC.
should have gone first.
I didn't even know what like UNC's
You're like, it's
mascot
Colorado. It's probably a cool town.
was. Yeah, all I knew at the time was 4-to-1 girl to guy ratio.
Is that true?
Because it's a nursing and teacher school.
Wait, 4 guys to every one girl?
4
girls
to every one guy.
Okay.
So
Little
heavy
did you know,
nursing.
Caroline was going to Texas. So
Yeah, so she, we split up. And then, yeah, we both did our college thing.
Oh, wow. You guys got back together after college?
Yeah, so what happened was, it was like 6.5 years later.
Whoa. I don't think I realized that.
No, I was still in a relationship. I think she just ended a relationship. But I was already at the point, of moving forward because I was living in Prague. So I finished my last year of college studying abroad.
Okay.
So
What'd you get a degree in?
exercise phys, and then a minor in biology.
Okay.
So it was supposed to
Nothing
go,
to do with what you're doing.
like the medical route. So I wanted to, be a PA or a PT.
Yeah.
And that's when I was in, school for that. I like applied to get into PT school and everything. So I was doing scribing, working for all these like medical people. And then
When did you realize that that's not what you wanted to do?
the first like month I was in the school, I was like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
Like,
What was it about it?
Just, I don't know. I didn't feel like anyone around me like had much like
Yeah,
drive.
you're very driven.
My dad was always an entrepreneur and like never worked for anyone, so I always struggled with that. I was not a good employee.
Okay.
You know, when I worked I was good at what I did. Like when I was a trainer, I did that. But
Do you and authority just not? Because that was me.
um,
Like I can't live in a corporate structure. I have to make this video thing work because I can't work for someone else.
yeah, and that's the biggest thing is if I worked for someone, obviously I would put now knowing that like I own my own business and, you know, asking others to give 100%,
Yeah.
you know, growing up and you learn that it's like, if you're going to have a job or work for someone, give it your all because it's just a reflection of who you are. And also it's going to hurt you if you try to go to the next place. It's because you're the one giving them the referral or they're calling, asking you. So it's like, always make sure you have, you know, good relationships or you ended on good.
Yeah, I think I was a good employee. I worked hard, did a really good job. You know, I'm a problem solver. I could always like fix. So I worked for like Apple before this and I was like a service tech manager basically. And like I had that, you know, shop humming, right? We were too good, you know? And I just didn't want to move into like a management position and just like the corporate lingo and jargon and just like the way you have to maneuver in that world to like get to the next level. I was just like, I don't want to. Yeah, not for me at all. I need lots of freedom. I need spontaneity. I don't need to ask. They wrote me up one time because I didn't ask to go get my lunch, like a lunch break. And I just remember coming home that day and just being like, I'm done with this. Like, I was like the best. I ran the best shop, right? And I was like, they still want me to ask permission to go. I'm like, I'm not.
Or like, yeah, can I go to the bathroom?
Yeah, exactly.
Give
Like,
me a bathroom
is it
pass.
okay if I can? Yeah, exactly. And I was like,
Yeah, and that's
not me, man.
Dude, that's what I
Can't
tell people from relationships to like your business life is I see, you know, couples like when I was younger, my parents got divorced early on, but like Caroline's parents, you know, there's a lot of traits I like and dislike about them parenting.
Sure.
Or just being in a relationship. And then I see like my best friend, like Dane, you know, I see like how lovely his mom was and nourishing and caring and, you know, how hardworking his dad is. So I'm like picking traits. Okay, I like that. I don't like that. So throw that one away. Let me keep that. Let me build like a huge transformer, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But same thing goes with business is I worked for, you know, certain places. I was like, okay, that was a good system.
Oh, for sure.
Those were good procedures. Let me like snag that. That was trash. Like asking, you know, guys.
Yeah. If someone asked me to go to the bathroom, I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. And that's what I tell everyone at our company. You know, we are the chillest. Yeah. Best, you know, cultural company that I, you know of. And we're always working on it. You know, always want to improve it. Because, you're an adult. You don't need to tell me that you need to go get lunch. I mean, maybe a little text to your team or your management team. But like when I'm up here trying to figure out stuff, I don't need to know. Yeah. I'll go to your manager or be like, hey, where's so-and-so? You know? Oh, he went there. Okay, cool.
So tell me how you went from PT school to owning a glass company. Because that was the first thing you guys did was glass, right?
Yep. It was because of Caroline. You know, Caroline and I ran into each other at the Do Tour. Okay. And she was like, oh my God, like we need to link up soon, blah, 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 blah.
I'm sure she thought that.
So I was living in Fort Collins, ended up, you know, my past relationship ended and then moved down south with my pops. Okay. You know, so moved back down to Highlands Ranch. I was like, I can't live here with him, you know? So shortly after, my buddy John and Shoddy, we got a place in like Lowhigh area, City Park. And we were just living there. And I was working for Shoddy's dad at a restaurant called Alibaba Grill in Lowhigh, which is really good. And then I was in the PT school at the same time. So, you know, so I was trying to balance both. Okay. Caroline then was like, hey, let's go get dinner one night. So drove down. I had a dentist appointment. That was the last time I had cleaned.
That was the last time you had a dentist. Dude, it's been a decade.
I know. And then, so I go in and I'm like, all right, let me know what time you want to link up. And then she texts me, she goes, oh, sorry, I have a Christmas thing I have to go to. I can't make it. So I was super bummed. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
She initiated it, right? Yep. And then
I get a text at like 8 and she goes, you know what? I lied. I didn't actually have, I didn't have this Christmas party. I just didn't want to interfere, you know, because you just got out of a relationship, yada, yada, yada. But she goes, ever since my brother passed away, I just don't want to like miss any opportunities. So I'm going to come pick you up.
Okay.
She hasn't seen me since I was 160 pounds in high school.
Oh, wow.
5'8", and then I'm like 6'2".
Yeah.
I was like
You found a gym?
Yep. That's when I was like competing in men's physique and everything like that. And obviously I haven't seen her in 6.5 years too. So it was really weird. But the second I got in her car, dude, we're like
Just felt
back
it.
to normal again.
That's
like
fun.
from day one.
That's fun.
So we had like a 5-hour-long convo.
What a
at,
memory, huh?
Los Dos, we were just sipping on margs. And
Uh-huh.
then, she's like, you want to get out of here? And we left and
Nice.
went to our secret spot at.
If it's secret, don't tell. Yeah. All right, and we'll change subjects here.
But no, anyways, then Caroline and I started dating, and she was doing her job, working for Tom James, which is like a custom suit tailor.
Yeah.
And then I was still, part PT.
Okay.
And working at the restaurant. My dad goes, hey, can you take my car to Shop BMW to get the windshield changed? So I went down there. His friend Jim was like, yeah, but it's going to be 45 minutes or so. And then that's when I was just sitting there. I was like, can I watch? And there's like the tinners, the clear bra, the detailing, the auto glass.
Oh, cool.
I was like, this is really cool because, my dad was always imported cars from Germany and everything to LA when he was younger. So we were always a big car family.
Okay.
And then I was like, how much do I owe you? He goes, oh, your dad went through insurance. I was like, well, what was the bill? I looked at it, it was like $1,600 for a windshield. He went through insurance, so zero deductible, didn't pay anything.
Yeah.
I asked him, how much is the windshield? It's like $400. I was like, how many of these do you do a day?
Yeah.
10 to 20.
So you just started doing numbers in your head.
Yeah. And then I'm asking and then I walk over to the tint guys. I'm like,
where do you get
how
your
much do you guys charge to tint these?
Yeah.
And then he's telling me these prices. I'm like, what's the cost of the film?
Yeah. So you went into entrepreneur mode. You're just like, wait a second.
So then I asked him, I was like, hey, do you mind if I come back and watch you guys? So I went back, no paid, for like a year.
What?
So
and just watched?
Oh, dude, I was
you
just
start
watching.
working? You didn't work for him?
No, because it was for the dealership. I can't touch their cars.
Yeah.
But I was watching. I was taking notes of all the tools, the names, where do I buy these things, how to this, that.
No way.
Yeah. So
how often would you go back up there?
Every day.
For a year?
9 months, yeah.
9 months, Jesus.
And
dude, that's wild.
Yeah, so you do school in the morning.
And you're just doing research.
Free training.
Field research. Yeah,
free labor
training.
for 6 hours and then working the night shift at the restaurant.
Okay.
And then I'm competing men's physique at the time still. So I'm like juggling all these things. I don't even know what I want to do at this point.
Yeah.
I'm 22 years old.
Trying a little bit of everything.
Or 21. And then Caroline tells me she's pregnant in New York.
Oh, fun.
So I was competing, it was technically New Jersey at Nationals. And she's like, hey, I'm pregnant. And I was like, cool shit. Okay, this is the last competition I'm ever going to do.
Oh, yeah.
Because I just was like, I got to do something for her and for this baby.
Yeah.
So then I told my dad, I was like, hey, I think
how long have y'all been together? Did you know that you wanted to get married at that point?
I mean, I always knew I wanted to marry Caroline, even in high school. I was like, if I'm going to marry someone, it's this girl.
Okay.
But that's when I told my dad, I was like, hey, I think I'm going to start a glass company. He's like, okay. He's like, I'll help you buy a van. So my pops helped me buy a van. What
an investment that was, huh?
Yeah. He split the van with me, and then he helped me buy a ton of tools. Even my brother, fronted me some cash to buy a truck.
Nice.
So I ended up having to pay him back, so they really helped me kind of move it. But then once I had this little platform,
Were you out there just changing windshields by yourself, just driving around?
So what happened was I'm just posting on Facebook. I had this terrible website on Wix.
Yep.
I'm like, hey, I change windshields now.
Yeah.
And I remember the first girl, her name was Joy. I actually messaged her a few months ago. I was like, Joy, thank you so much for giving me an opportunity, because
that's so cool.
You put me on the map.
Yeah.
And that first windshield, I don't even know if she knows this, but went to go change it. And then it took me 3 hours. Usually we can bang them out 30, 40 minutes now, but I thought I knew everything, just from watching.
But you had not, you're actually hands-on
doing it. It's totally different.
Yeah.
And, I did a good job. I got it all done. Took 3 hours, but went to go set the wiper, slammed it too hard, broke it again.
Oh, no.
So I called my brother, Mike, dude, you need to get the fuck Aurora watched this car. I pushed the windshield out, cleaned up all the glue. He was cleaning the glue up, drove to the warehouse, got a new windshield, put it back in before she got home.
Oh my gosh.
You
Probably
know?
made nothing off of the job.
I lost
money.
Lost money.
Yeah.
And then I called Caroline. I was like really upset. I was like, like, I don't even know if this is for me. But she said the best thing. She goes, everything that could go wrong in this business, you got everything out on your first day. And then, that kind of gave me some hope.
Yeah, you're like, all right. And you learn from it, right? Like,
Yeah.
now I know not to smash the windshield wipers down. So
Exactly. And that's why I always tell my guys, I'm like, if they're like, hey, I fucked this up, I'm like, I've done that too.
Yep. Yeah.
know?
Been there, done that. Now you know.
Exactly.
Now you know, and you won't do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah. That's the thing, is you got to learn from your mistakes. If you can't learn from your mistakes, then you can't work for me. But
I was doing that, and then one of my friends had a shop, and I was like, dude, I can't work in the snow. Like, do you mind if I come here and like bring like my job? And he's like, yeah, of course.
Cool.
And then his guys were like, we'll help you. I was like, okay, let me throw you $50.
Yeah.
And then I started getting more and more leads. And Caroline's uncle,
were you Advanced? Where's your name?
Advanced Auto Glass. Actually, it was AAA Advanced Auto Glass. Got sued by AAA.
Fun.
Because I had like 3 A's in the logo, but it was really mountains.
Okay.
So I got a cease and desist letter for that. So I actually changed it all. And then that's when it was, at the time, that's when we were moving into tint and clear brow.
Yeah. Well, the AAA thing was all about the phone book being
My dad,
being the first one in the phone
My
book.
dad's like, I'm going to help you set this up. I was like, this is stupid, but okay. Because
no one uses the phone book
or
anymore.
yellow
Right.
books or
Yeah.
anything like that. So
Now
it
it's
didn't
all
really make sense to me.
SEO. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
So it doesn't matter.
oh, dude, that would give us so much headache for so long, was all these stupid
All the
things.
A's.
Yeah. And yeah, and then, I was doing a ton of glass at this point, and one of the tinners was like, hey man, can you get me some tint work? I was like, sure. Teach me about it.
Yeah.
He started teaching me about it. I was once again back to square one, learning how to do all this tinting.
Yeah.
Learning how to do all this clear brow.
What year was this?
I started in 2016.
Okay.
And then, that was probably 2017 when we started getting into like tint and clear brow.
Okay.
And then I got my own small little garage condo off, where Mercedes Littleton is.
Yeah.
So tucked behind there.
Okay.
Off Broadway. And Caroline and my dad were like, dude, you don't have the bandwidth to do this. I'm like, well, if I don't get into a place, like, I'm not moving up.
Yeah.
And they're like, you're moving too quickly. I'm like, well,
that's a good
I have
problem.
to do this.
Yeah.
So I moved in there.
So you were grinding.
Yeah. I hired my first, I think it was 2 people at the time. And then that tinner.
Did you make any mistakes on hiring early on?
The very first person, I won't say the name, but it was just kind of like useless. And then the first 2 guys, they were great, and I still have one of them, Steven. He's my best friend.
Cool.
And he left 24 Hour Fitness. He's like, dude, I need a job, blah blah blah. And I was like, I didn't even have money for me.
Yeah.
But it's just that something like
just take a
I
risk.
wanted to help him. I was like, if this works out, this will like get us going.
Yeah.
But I mean, we struggled, the 3 of us for a while. It was like low paychecks, but
yeah,
it's that entrepreneur journey. And
yeah, we've all been there.
A lot of them were like, you're crazy for getting a tint and clear brow. Like they were always like, just focus on what you're doing. Just do this, do that, do that. And I was like,
niche down.
If you guys can just focus on your position and your job, let me focus on this. Cause this is like where I think we'll balance each other, cause they kind of go hand in hand with each other.
Okay.
So, a lot of people give you doubt, but
yeah,
if you can kind of just shut it off and
right. Bad advice. Just if you have an entrepreneur's instinct, I feel like just trust it. Just trust your gut and go with it. Anytime that I second guess, I feel like I regret it. I end up regretting it. If I just trust my entrepreneurial instincts and just go with it, then
things work out.
Yeah, they do.
I got that tattooed on my leg.
Things work out?
Yeah.
That's good.
I've always like lived that motto with some of my close, childhood friends. And it just.
And I feel like failure in some ways is necessary in certain ways. We've tried different things and just like total flop, wasted 10 grand, wasted 20 grand.
Oh, yeah.
And you're just like, well, now I know, I know.
Things work out because like that saying, this too shall pass.
Yeah.
It's like, if you just give it some time, it can work itself out.
Yeah, as long as you're not like doing anything too stupid, over leveraging yourself too much, you can always bounce back. You know, so.
And even if you do, you learn.
That's how I kind of like. I can always just go back to. I don't shoot a lot of weddings anymore, but it's like I can always just go back to shooting weddings if you know what I mean.
That's what I tell my guys. I'm like,
I'll just
if we have a huge crisis, at least I know me and these like 4 stable people.
Yeah,
we can run like a badass operation. I mean, we're at 22 people now.
Okay, I was gonna ask how big your team is now.
But if I needed to, I could always scale.
You don't know this. I hired you guys come out and replace my broken window.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was probably about 4 or 5 months ago. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I called and I just was like, I want to walk through Cam's experience and see what it's like. Great customer service. 2 bros showed up just like they look like you, muscles, and tight fades. And they showed up, did it in like 30, 40 minutes. Super respectful, really nice, very professional. And they bounced. They were in and out in less than an hour, man. It was good. It was a good experience. Yeah.
And that's what I tell people. The bigger you get, the more volume you do,
the
more risk you have for issues. But it's always refreshing hearing that. But
Yeah.
that's the big thing about us too is
I kind of wanted to experience it and then like let you know as just like an honest, because you can trust my feedback. And it's like, it was, the whole process was
But
great.
that's the thing is we actually implemented like with our own manager systems is like we secret shop ourselves.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
So,
That's basically what I was doing for you. And you guys were the cheapest, the most affordable too. You know what I mean? I like came in like $20-$30 than the next, person. So I was going to use you guys regardless. But
and we have a flat labor rate. So we try to streamline things. So whether it's like a Ferrari, it's a Honda Civic. Like,
oh, wow, really?
The labor is the labor for us,
Okay. So you're not charging if it's harder? Is it an hourly rate or like a time?
No,
rate,
we just have a flat labor rate
Is it
for glass.
Okay.
If it's an out of pocket pay, if they go through insurance, that's where you can make good margins.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't go through insurance.
No, that's all right. we do our back end, partnering with insurance companies and those who have glass coverage because.
Is that one of the biggest pain points for you guys is working with insurance companies?
Yeah, we chase money. We're owed probably $180,000 at all times.
Yeah.
But then we have big accounts now with, construction companies and some dealerships and this or that, and they want to put you on net terms. So you're banked.
Yeah.
So that was the hardest part about starting was
the capital, keep having
I had like $5,000, right? But then I get my first Ferrari windshield, $7,000.
Yeah.
So now I'm negative $2,000 and then I'm not getting paid for 60 days.
Yeah.
And my credit card bills are due in 30.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
Right. And you can't not pay your employees.
Nope.
Yeah.
So I'm paying them.
Hey,
so I'm going lower.
Hey guys, we're going to switch to a net 60 payroll actually.
Yeah. And these are the things they don't know.
Right.
And
they shouldn't know about it. It's, you know what I mean? It's like, it's a reality of our world as business owners, but they don't have to, it's not on them. They shouldn't bear that burden. That's like, I hire a lot of contractors, in our world, we operate more with 1099 contractors. I have a couple employees, but we're outsourcing edits and you know what I mean? And shoots. Hey, I got this shoot. I can't go do it. Let me hire you to go do it. I trust you. You'll do a good job. And, I may owe them $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 for the shoot. And I'm not going to get that money until for 30, 60, 90 days. But I need to make sure I have the money to pay them because I know I hate getting paid. So often it's like, hey, I can't pay you until they pay me. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't operate like that.
I just had a construction company tell me the same thing. They're like, oh, well, we haven't been paid, so you can't be paid. I'm like,
that's not how this works.
What?
Yeah.
No, I completed my shit.
Yeah. That's on you. Yeah. It's hard to get money to get people to pay you though sometimes,
Oh yeah. We had a contract with DIA. It took them 6 months. And then we're like, we're done doing this.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like, I'm borderline getting legal involved here. So, well, I want to talk about because you guys, you have gotten into like the exotic cars. That's what you post about a lot.
Yeah.
Is that because that's what most of you guys you're doing mostly, or is it just because it's cool? Both?
Double-edged sword.
Okay.
A lot of it is just
Exotic.
That's what's coming in.
Okay.
A lot of it is exotic cars and new cars, obviously, because Tank Clearbrow, you buy a new Mercedes or an Escalade or a Ferrari or a Lambo. That's the first thing you do because these people who buy these cars understand the value of paint protection.
Okay.
Like you live in Colorado. I mean, whether you want to trash your car or not, it's up to you. If you want to spend $150K on an Escalade, if you're not spending $10,000 on clearbrowing the whole car,
it's going to look like...
Well, then don't complain to me when it's all chipped up and scratched and swirling, and then you go turn your car and your car's worth $60,000 the next year. Not my fault. you fucked up.
Okay. Is there a different type of film that you guys are using depending on the car, what the customer wants, what it does, its practicality?
Yeah, so we won Best Expel Shop in Colorado for the last 2 years now.
Nice.
So Expel is like the global leader for window tint, paint protection.
Okay.
So they take, these polls and how much film you buy and your comebacks or whatever,
Okay.
however they determine it. But yeah, we won the best shop the last 2 years.
Nice.
So Expel Dealer of the Year is what they call it.
Cool.
But there are different quality of tints, so there's like good, better, best.
Okay.
20% heat rejection, 60% heat rejection, 90%. So we can fit your budget and, what you want.
Yeah.
And then paint protection, you can clear out the front. You can do the front and the lower rockers. You can do the whole car.
Yeah.
It's just up to us to educate the people on what they're getting. Most people like the front end, because it's $2,000 to $3,000.
Yeah.
It's affordable.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the highest impacted areas,
Right.
know, and then they add tint and whatnot.
Okay.
But we have really, I think, made a dent in the community
No pun intended.
with doing the full cars,
Yeah.
and people are now, I think, starting to see the true value of putting paint protection on the whole entire car.
Well, if you're looking at your car like an investment, then that makes a lot of sense, right? If it's just
If it
mine's
gets you from A to B,
yeah.
you're not our client.
Yeah,
And
I'm
I
not
tell
your
folks
client.
that
I'm
all
just
the
like a utility guy. I buy a car that's 2 or 3 years old, and I drive it for 5-6 years, and I turn around and get rid of it. And I just need something that I can load camera gear in and haul my kids in, right?
Exactly.
I'm not a car guy, but I can see if people buy cars and invest in them. They want a really nice car. Some people just have the money, and that's what
Yeah,
they
and a
want.
lot of people, they work hard to get these cars.
Yeah.
So it's like, then they understand the value of that.
Yeah.
They want it to look good all the time. And these films are what makes it look good all the time. I mean,
Yeah.
they're scratch resistant, swirl resistant, they're self-healing,
Yeah.
they're 10 mil thick. So it's like Wolverine is what Joe Rogan called it. He's
Okay.
Wolverine skin?
That's
Yeah, like that's what
kinda what
paint
it is.
protection is. It self-heals to an extent, obviously.
Sure.
And then auto glass, it's anyone, we don't care what it is. I mean, a windshield's a windshield, a side window, a back window.
Yeah.
Obviously over the years, we've been known as like the trusted shop to work on your higher end vehicle.
Yeah.
But then once again, it's up to the individual. I mean, I had this lady yesterday with a 24 X7 and she's like, you guys were $17 more expensive than the other place. I'm like, so they got like 2 reviews and like 1 or 2 employees.
Yeah.
We got a full team, a staff. Like it's not just the 17 bucks. It's like you're paying for the experience.
Yep.
And like the
customer
machinery we
experience.
have and like the calibration tools, like most shops don't do that, or even have that. So they can't really complete your service to the fullest.
Yeah. You're like, I'm not going to come down off that $17.
No, or like people are like, I want a clear broad just 18 inches on my hood. I'm like, sir, don't waste $400 on this.
Yeah.
Just don't do it.
Oh, they just want like the half coverage?
Literally just on the hood though. No
Yeah.
bumper, no fenders, no headlights,
You're like, it's not worth
nothing.
it.
So I'm like telling this guy, like, don't do that. You're gonna wait. You're wasting your money.
Yeah.
No, I do this on all my cars. I'm like, okay, well, your bumper is going to be trashed.
Yeah.
2 months later, he comes in. Can you touch up these rock chips on my bumper? I'm like, oh my god, dude.
Yeah. Preventative measures, sir. Preventative measures. All right. So you recently, in the last year, have done some really cool projects with Prime, Coach Prime, and Travis Hunter, right?
Hunter, Shador.
Yeah. Okay. How did those happen? Tell us what you did and just give us the story.
Yeah. My buddy Jay owned an exotic rental company. He was renting cars out to Prime on like some contract deal.
Okay.
Prime wanted the cars black. We get him to come up. He's like, hey, dude, we need to wrap these cars black, like these Escalades, whatever else there was. Like by the end of this week. It was like Thursday. We say time costs money. How fast you want to go?
Yeah.
Next, boom, that was done.
Okay. You got them all done?
Well,
Like
yeah,
a day?
all the whole staff paused. Hey,
Yeah.
this is for Prime. Let's get it done.
Okay.
3 months later, it comes by, and I had a spine injury, so I'm just like laying on my bed, just like hopeless there. And I get a DM, and it's Travis Hunter. And people are like, "Oh, you guys, pay people to do this." I'm like,
Nah.
if you try to get in his DMs, like, good luck.
Yeah. Right.
Do you know how many people? Like, him and Shador are the most famous athletes right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Globally,
Yeah. They're huge.
like they're just the talk of the town, and they deserve it, right?
Sure.
But Travis was like, hey, man, a lot of people said you guys like best wrap shop in town. He wanted to do a vinyl wrap. And I was like, hey, dude, like this is a better film. So that's why I talked him into doing paint protection. Then we did like the custom door jams with the Hello Kitty.
Oh yeah.
And then Travis was like, dude, he was such a cool guy, and he's like, yeah, let's do a video for it, and we released it, and then I get a call from SportsCenter.
Oh wow.
And ESPN. They're like, hey, can we get rights to put you guys on every platform? People are pissed. Why the fuck is a car on SportsCenter? But
yeah, it was cool, man. It was super cool.
Marketing's marketing, content's content, whatever.
So did you just give them the rights? You're like,
we say,
this is the best exposure we're ever gonna get.
Yeah. So then we had a ton of people like football players from all.
Do you feel like, okay, I was gonna ask, do you feel like that did anything for your brand?
Yeah, I mean, I had like a New York Giants player reach out. Hey, I want to get my cars wrapped. Like,
wow.
Shipping them, because now the big thing is a lot of people understand quality, so they're willing to pay $1,000 extra to have their car shipped to a shop that they like and trust.
Yeah.
And if you just deliver them a good experience, I think that's all that matters.
Yeah.
And then after that,
are those pretty profitable for you guys?
What
the wraps that you're doing for?
As long as you don't mess up. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we have to price them where they're at. I mean, there's a ton of lowballers in our industry that just do that because they need the work, or
right.
Who knows why they do that, but they're hurting themselves at the end of the day.
Is the film the expensive part?
Yeah, like paint protection, do a whole car, it's like $2,000 to $3,000 depending on the car.
Okay.
And you're charging them $7,000 to $12,000.
Right. So if you mess that up and have to redo,
I mean, you can mess up one hood and it's $500.
Yeah,
gone.
Ooh.
Which happens.
Yeah.
But you have to deliver them a perfect product. Otherwise, that's
right.
your
There's
reputation.
no bubbles, no dirt underneath, no nothing. Yeah. So
that's why I always tell
your shop is always super clean. Actually, you posted a video and it made me think, because it's snowing today.
Oh, God,
it was snowing the other day, and then you guys put a car in and it was spotless. But when you took the video, there was snow and dirt covering the cars. I was like, how do y'all get them so clean and then get them in clean?
Yeah. So now that we've grown, obviously we had like those pain points before, but when we expanded the shop, we have to have designated wash bay.
Yeah.
So that's your dirty area,
Okay.
So it's got this huge curtain, your full details room, supplies.
Okay.
Lighting, is key. Like we spent probably $50,000 on lighting just this year.
Yeah. Wow.
And
well, the lighting looks amazing. It looks cool.
And we want the clients to have an experience, and it's still not even perfect in my head. I mean,
the clients aren't sticking around watching you guys do this, right? They
but we do a lot of, shop tours, because we want you, like, if you're spending, $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, I want you to know who we are, who's working on your car.
Who's running your social media? Do you have somebody doing all that?
So we have, we've kind of juggled a few different guys in, but we have a core team right now of 3 guys that shoot.
Okay.
Photo specific, video. Now we're getting to YouTube and everything like that.
Okay.
So they actually will edit it, drop it to our manager team. We'll go through it, filter, like, all right, we like this.
You're
let's
pretty
post
picky.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. You do a quality control on all your content.
And there's still like stuff where I'm like irritated every day, but
sure. You're a perfectionist.
I try,
which is good in this industry, but not. I don't know. A video is the place to be a perfectionist. Well, there's a balance, right? It's like we got to get a bunch of content out. It can't all be 100 the greatest thing ever created, right?
Yeah.
But we do have. Here's the floor. Here's like the floor where it has to meet the standard.
Yeah, because Instagram's algorithms like better on iPhones. I just don't like the way that it looks. Even if I get less views, whatever. I just want people, when they come to our page, they're like, okay, these guys are high end.
Yeah.
They're detail oriented.
Yeah.
They're clean. They're good people. I mean, our staff, like you said, our autoglass guys get hit on by so many chicks all the time. Like the reviews, they're hot, this, that. And like, it's like, I don't want to send some grungy dude with like face tats to your daughter who's like 15, and she's home alone.
Right. Yeah.
I wouldn't want that with my kids.
Sure.
So I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I don't care if you have tattoos anywhere else, but like,
I know what you mean. Yeah.
You could have no tattoos.
Just a professional
I got
appearance.
Tons of tattoos, right?
Right.
But like
just a professional appearance.
Yeah. Good, man. Like, take care of yourself. And we try to like mold all of our guys into like the same habits. It's like who you are as a man. Like, what kind of man do you want to be? Whether that's you're the janitor or the CEO. It's like, take pride in what you do, because it all comes together, right? And it shows a reflection on who you are, and you don't
expect these people to be around forever, But while they're there, if you can get them from point A to point B and become a better person.
You know, and like my biggest thing too is I've had to swallow that pill where like I was telling one of my he's become like one of my best friends, Dylan. He's our manager of our film department. I was like, dude, because we just had to let someone go the other day who's been with us for like 5 years. Great guy, but just dealing with some stuff. But I was like, Dylan, you know, over time you really realize that like you think these guys have your back or their family or this or that, but like some people will burn you like within no time, you know. And but I do, you know, if they work for us, I want them to have a positive experience on their way out, you know.
Yeah.
Saying, oh, you know, Cam taught me this, or Advanced Industries, you know, taught me this trait, and I can carry it to my next one, you know.
Because they might even come back.
Oh
They
yeah,
got a manager role in 5 to 10 years. Yeah.
I had a guy, you know, he was so talented, and then he wanted to go, and then, you know, 2 years later, he was like, hey man, like I want to come back, and open gates for him, you know.
That happens to us too.
As long as we leave on cordial terms. I mean, I've had guys who, you know, have done some shady shit, but those are the ones who the doors are closed now for forever, you know, and I wish you all the best.
Yeah.
But it's just part of business, you know, and you learn that more and more. And that first, you know, your first guy that quits or you have to fire.
That's hard, man.
You know, you're like irritated about it for a while, but now it's like clockwork, you know, it's like, you know, slow to hire, quick to fire.
Yeah.
But
yeah, my line is always, you can steal this if you want. Just like, I'm going to free you up to go do something you're more passionate about.
That's a good one.
I'm like, it's like, hey, how are you feeling about this job? Do you feel like you're doing a good job? Like, you know, oh, you could be better. Like, well, what would you, if you weren't working here, what would you want to be doing? You know, well, let's free up your time to go do that then.
Yeah. Well, I have a lot of guys, you know, that want to do another position, but I'm like, it looks like sunshine and rainbows over here, but it's really not, you know, like they got some like tough shit that they're doing too, but they've also spent 15 years working on their craft.
Skills.
That's why it looks so easy.
Yeah.
Yep. You know, like people look at Dave, Dylan, Alex, Johnny, who are wrapping these cars. I'm like, these guys have been put their fucking time in.
Yeah.
You know, you don't just make the money they make, or
they've done thousands of cars.
And yeah, and that's just the difference. You know, like we had people applying for this new temp position because they're like, you can make $1,500 to $3,000 a week being a tinner. I'm like, yeah, but you got to be good.
Yeah.
If you're only tinting one car, no fucking way you're making even close to that. You know, these guys are banging out like 6-7 cars a day.
Wow.
Each.
Yeah. Dang, that's a lot.
You know, but you get what you put in.
Yeah.
You know, and
well, tell me about what's the future look like for Advanced Industries? What's on the horizon for you guys?
We've spoken about other locations. Autoglass, you know, is our duplicatable processes where we can move into smaller, you know, like satellite locations, like maybe a Castle Rock or a Boulder, you know, because you can have a team of 3 or 4 and they can run a pretty profitable company, you know, doing, you know, maybe $1.5 million per location.
Would you start something new with the idea that it would grow into a full another like
I don't
wraps and
think
everything?
I want to have it all be Autoglass tank clear, but I think this Highlands Ranch location is going to be our like massive
mothership. Okay.
But I might end up doing it where it's like, okay, this satellite location is just tinting clear bra, but if we need Autoglass, we have our other glass locations that can come there and service everything. So we'll double dip.
On your site, yeah.
Yeah, it still will double dip, you know. But I do want it to eventually get to the point where they're kind of separated. And then this is just Autoglass, Autoglass.
Is that because Autoglass is replicatable, or is it because it's different?
Well, just like say if you ever, you know, in 20, 30 years from now, if you wanted to like sell it to someone and they know Autoglass, they may not know Tank Clear Bra, right? So it's like separating them is better.
Do you think about selling it?
Not anytime soon. You know, I love our staff. I love what I do. If I did something else, I mean, I'd maybe like try to just not be a real estate agent, but I like
doing real estate.
Yeah. Like
speaking of real estate, are you planning on being in this location for a while, or do you need to grow and get somewhere bigger?
Dude, so we just grew, and then literally within 2 months, everyone's like, we need
more space. Yeah.
You know, and that's a problem, but you always have to watch out because you might be slammed, you know, like we did 5.2 million this year or this last year, which was the best year we ever had. But it's like, you may not get that next year, you know? So you have to kind of tread lightly, I think. Yep. And I don't want to get into something where I'm just
slow to grow too. Yeah. Slow to hire, slow to grow. just nice and easy and steady. Same.
And we've been growing fast,
Mhm.
but we're like trying to pump the brakes now. We're working on our internal procedures, the systems, because like my best friend PJ says, you know, we hired him on to like kind of overlook our systems and our next moves. And he's like, dude, you're the problem, you know, because
Why?
you're the source of truth.
Okay.
Like you have all this stuff. So if people come in, oh, I talked to Cam, or I want to go past the office and talk to Cam, you know, but it's like, that's
Because you're
not
the
how it
face of
works.
You're the face of it. And
Yeah.
people want to talk to the
So
face.
we're like tightening these things up where it's like, I'm here to see Cam. Like, for what?
yeah.
You know, oh, he's busy now.
Yeah.
And like, I try to say hi and hello to everyone because
Sure.
that's like what makes that relationship,
It's a good
you know,
experience. Yep.
good. But if I'm like truly busy, it's like, I want to respect your time just as if like, just respect mine back, right?
Yeah.
So we're just trying to tighten
That's
these
why
things
I
up.
didn't DM you or text you. I was like, I'm just going to get some glass.
But I do like when people like close friends will text me and be like, hey, Cam, can like you help me? Because, you know, I want them to know that I'm still like, people are like,
Well, I don't know. You're like, what were you going to do for me? Like, you know what I mean? Like, they came out like a day later, 2 days later. So I wasn't expecting anything. And
a lot of people are like, Cam, you
still.
still answer phones? I'm like, I answer more phones than anyone. Like, it's just the time that
When the phone is money, right? When the phone, that ringing sound is
dude.
money, right?
my phone rings nonstop.
Yeah, I bet. So,
But
okay, so no, you want to expand, but you kind of pumping the
yeah,
brakes on
so
it.
we've maximized this location.
Yeah.
I want to see what other locations may do in the future, but we really just have to tighten up things. And because I've seen companies where they're like, all right, we're going to go to the next one and this and that. And people are like calling us like, we want a franchise. We want a partner. Let's go down to Miami. Let's go to LA. I'm like, guys, like you have money. I don't need that.
Yeah.
We need sweat equity.
Yeah.
You know, that's what we need.
Cool. Awesome, man. Well, thanks for your time today.
Yeah, my man. Thank
Cool.
you, bro.
This was fun. I love talking business, talking shop. Congratulations on all your success. I'm excited to keep up with you
I
guys.
know,
And
dude.
see.
Maybe we got to shoot a
Sounds like you got your own crew. You don't need us.